Good morning to all of you. So, we have started this chapter, light, and in this chapter, we have covered these contents: reflection, spherical mirror, types of spherical mirror, the terms that are related to spherical mirror, real and virtual images, and uses of mirror. So, today we will discuss about refraction of light, its properties, laws of reflection, examples of refraction. Then at the last we will discuss about the dispersion of light and its causes. So let's start with the refraction of light. So we already knew about the reflection of light. It is the phenomena of bouncing back of the light when the light falls on a surface and it travels back in the same medium. So as we already knew that light travels at different speeds through different mediums. In the air or in vacuum, its speed is maximum, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. In the water, its speed reduced and it becomes 2.25 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. And through the glass, it reduces even much and it reduces to 2 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second through the glass. So what happens when the light travels from one medium to another? In the diamond, the light travels at about 40% of its speeds in vacuum. So when the light traveling obliquely from one medium to another, it undergoes a change in the direction of propagation. Oblique means it whenever it is striking at some angle on the surfaces like water, glass, diamond, there is a change in the direction of propagation of light. So this phenomena of change in the path of the light from one medium to another is called as refraction of light. So here you can see in this diagram, the incident ray has been struck at an angle of I, that is angle of incidence. So when it enters the second medium, what happens? It should actually go in the straight path if no medium was there, but due to the presence of medium, it bends from its original path or it's deviate from its original path. So this is known as refraction and this R is known as angle of refraction that we will discuss later. So there are few properties of refraction. Whenever the light travels from rarer medium to the denser medium, what happens? It bends towards the normal. So let's discuss few terms that are related to the refraction. So first term is incident ray. The incident ray is the ray which strikes the surface at an angle of incidence, and this angle of incidence is always made along with the normal. Next is the refracted ray, the ray which is deviated from its original path when it enters the medium is known as the refracted ray. Then the angle of incidence that we already knew, angle of incidence is the angle made by the incident ray with the normal. Similarly, angle of refraction will be the angle made by the refracted ray with the normal. Then the normal is a perpendicular passing through the point where the incident ray falls on the boundary of separation, that we have already studied normal when we studied the reflection. Then other terms like angle of incidence, the angle made by the incident ray with the normal. Angle of refraction, the angle made by the angle between the refracted ray and the normal is known as the angle of refraction and it is represented by small r. So let's see a few properties of refraction. Whenever the light travels from rarer medium to denser medium, so rarer medium we can consider the medium like air, and denser is the medium other than the air like water, glass. So what happens to the path of the light? it bends towards the normal. So this is our normal. So what happens to the ray of light? It starts bending towards the normal. This blue line indicates the actual path, and this red line is the deviated path of the light. Next property is whenever the light travels from denser medium to rarer medium. Like whenever it travels from, suppose, glass to air, what happens to it? It bends away from the normal. So this is now incident ray PQ. So this is the water, it is the denser medium, and air is the rarer medium. So when it travels from denser to rarer, it deviates, it bends away from the normal. So that should be the path of the line, and now what happens to it? It is bending away from the normal. So in the third case, suppose like we have studied in case of reflection also, when the light falls on the normal to the surface, it retraces its path. In case of the refraction, when the light falls at an angle of 90 degree on the surface, so what happens? Its path will not change, it goes in its original direction. That is, no refraction of light takes place whenever the light strikes at the angle of 90 degree. Now what are the effects of refraction of light? Suppose if you have a lemon is there put inside the water. So this is the apparent size of the lemon and this is the actual size of the lemon. So whenever you see it from outside, due to this bending of light, the size of the lemon seems to be increased. Why? Due to the refraction of light. As the medium from where you are watching is a rarer medium, and the medium in which the lemon has been kept, this medium is the denser medium. So when the light passes through this rarer to denser medium, there is a certain change in its path, and we see this size of the lemon, that is the black dotted lines, dashed lines which are there. It will be the apparent size of the lemon, and the size of the lemon appears to be larger. So like there are the laws of reflection, similarly there are laws of refraction also. So there are two laws of refraction. First is the incident ray, the refracted ray, and the normal all lie in the same plane. The second is the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is a constant. So like we have seen in the previous diagram, there was an angle of incidence and there was the angle of refraction. So sine of these two angles, sine is the trigonometric ratio, sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of R is always a constant for the pair of medium, and this constant is known as the refractive index of the second medium with respect to first medium. That is the capability of the medium, how much the light is going to bend when the light enters in this medium. So this constant is known as called as mu, and it is the refractive index of second medium in which the light is entering after refraction with respect to the first medium from where the light is entering into the second medium. This law is known as the Snell's law. Which law? Second law of refraction is also known as the Snell's law. So let's discuss about refractive index. So as I have already told you, and we already knew that light travels fastest in vacuum and almost the same speed as in air. In other medium, the speed is relatively less. So refractive index is defined as the ratio of speed of light in vacuum to the speed of light in another medium. It is denoted by n, and here it is the formula: speed of light in vacuum to the speed of light in any other medium. So we can say that refractive index is always greater than 1 also. So let's see a few real life examples of refraction. Suppose a stick is there and it has been dipped partially in water. So when you watch the stick from outside, what happens? it appears to be bent and short. So this is actually the stick, and this is the apparent position of the stick. And why this is being seen like this? This is the observer who is in the rarer medium, and this portion of the stick is in the denser medium. So when the observer watches the stick, the ray of light bends away from the normal towards the normal, and here also ray of light is bending towards the normal. So whenever they strike, now this ray of light has been extended to its original path. So when they are extended to its original path, they intersect at this point. And when you join this portion to this portion, you came to know that this portion appears to be bent when it is being seen from outside the water. So this is one of the example of refraction. Due to this refraction of light, this stick appears to be bent and short. Then a coin which is kept in vessel filled with water appears to be raised. Again, this is the incident ray, and this becomes refracted ray because of the refraction. Now when this incident ray has been produced in the backward direction, it actually meets here. So this C dash is the position, apparent position of the coin, and this C is the actual position of the coin. So due to the refraction of the light, this coin kept in the vessel appears to be raised from its original position. Now we will see the refraction through the glass slab. So when a ray of light passes through a rectangular glass slab, few things: angle of emergence will be equal to angle of incidence, and emergent ray is parallel to the incident ray. See this diagram. So this is the incident ray, and suppose this is the rectangular glass slab. Now since the medium is changing, what happens? This incident ray is bending towards the normal. This is the path, and this is the angle of refraction. Now when it strikes the other surface of the rectangular glass slab, so from here light is traveling from rarer medium to denser medium. From here light is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium. Now at this interface, that is DC, the path of light again changes, and as it is traveling from glass to air, it will start deviating away from the normal, that is away from the normal. So this position P1 and P2 is the position of the two pins that you have fixed. Then you will put the glass slab, and you will see these two pins, and you will put two more pins at P3 and P4, and they should be in the line with P1 and P2. Then when you remove this glass slab, what happens? And when you join this point to this point, you will see a deviation in the path of the light. This is the deviation in the path of the light inside the prism, and this dash line, blue dash line, shows the actual path or original path of the incident ray when there was no glass slab. So this dash line is known as the emergent ray, and we can easily see that this emergent ray is actually parallel to the incidence ray. So why there is a deviation? Deviation is due to the presence of this glass slab. So in this glass slab we have seen that emergent ray is parallel to incident ray. Now the next instance of refraction is refraction through the prism. Now what is a prism? Prism has two triangular bases. These are the two triangular bases and three rectangular surfaces. So one rectangular surface here, one here, and one here. So it has two triangular bases and three rectangular surfaces. This type of surface is known as the prism. Now when you consider an incident ray PQ, when it strikes, what happens? It is the angle of incidence and it is the normal. Since the medium is changing from rarer to denser, it will start bending towards the normal. This is the normal. In the prism, it will travel in the straight line since no change in medium. Again at this point F, when you make a normal at this point F, since the medium is changing from rarer to denser, again it will bend away from the normal. Now when this has been produced backward, so this is the emergent ray, this is the angle of incidence, this is the angle of refraction, and this is the angle of emergent. So you can here see that this incidence ray is not parallel to the emergent ray, whereas in the glass slab incidence ray was parallel to the emergent ray. So this is the difference between the refraction from rectangular slab, glass slab and prism. So this angle of deviation depends on angle of prism, material of prism, angle of incidence and wavelength of the light which has been used. So last is dispersion. So what is dispersion? It is the phenomena of splitting of white light into its constituent 7 colors when it passes through a glass prism like this. So we already knew that the white light is made up of 7 different colors. The phenomena that most of you must have noticed during the formation of rainbow, whenever there is a rain and after which when the sunlight comes up, a rainbow has been formed and it consists of 7 colors. So why this rainbow is formed? Because there is a change in the medium when the light passes from air to the water vapor, and those water vapors acts like the small prism, and due to the presence of the prism, this white light has been broken into 7 different colors. Like you can see in this diagram also, this white light has been separated into 7 different colors: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. And it is easily noticed that this violet color has been deviated the most and the red color has been deviated the least. So this is known as the dispersion of light. Now what causes the different dispersion of light? Different colors undergo different deviation on passing through the light, as all the colors is having the different wavelength and different speed. So whenever they enters the prism, their speed changes accordingly, and the speed of violet light changes the maximum, so it undergoes maximum deviation, and the speed of red color changes the minimum, so it undergoes minimum deviation. So this is the sequence of the colors given by the prism, with the maximum deviation with the violet to the minimum deviation with the red color. This band of colored components of light beam is called its spectrum. Okay, so this is known as the spectrum. Now suppose if you placed another identical prism in the inverted position like this. So this prism is this P1 and this second prism P2, and it is kept in the inverted position. So whenever this band of the colors passes through this prism in the inverted position, when it goes out from this, it becomes the white light. Or suppose if you placed it in the same position, again this will undergo another dispersion and another deviation will takes place. So in inverted position, 2 prisms are kept. You will always see a white light coming from the second inverted prism. So regarding the natural spectrum, we already knew rainbow is a natural spectrum. It formed when white light from the sun passes through tiny prism like water droplets and splits into the different color. Here you can see in this diagram, even when the waterfall is there and when the sunlight is there, it forms a rainbow. So this is a rainbow. You can see all the 7 colors are there. So Sir Isaac Newton has demonstrated the phenomena of dispersion by painting the cardboard with 7 different colors. And when he when he rotated this disc at a very high speed, what happens? This cardboard appears to be white. So he proved that white light actually consists of 7 different colors. So dispersion has been demonstrated, and this spectrum consists of 7 different colors, and this actually these 7 different colors make the white light. So this is the end of this chapter. Thank you.